So for this video, we're gonna stop there. So we're fairly high up. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Grant Smith, and today we're gonna be looking at the Summit Viper SD tree stand. So I've had this bad boy for about 5 years now. Mainly used it on public land hunts, but I've had a good bit of use. I've climbed a lot of trees, so I wanted to give you guys my thoughts about the climbing tree stand. I know these saddles and stuff like that are very popular, but I plan on still rocking this bad boy here in 2022. So I want to give you my thoughts real quick and run through some numbers. So first things first, the weight of the Summit Viper SD tree stand. It's going to come in right about 20 pounds. So nothing crazy. Honestly, packing it in, especially on public land, you notice it's there, but I think it's definitely manageable. As far as like tree stands go, it's not crazy light, but it's also not crazy heavy. So I actually don't like super light climbers. I feel like I'd like to have some weight when I'm up on the tree. I know that the weight of the stand is working against the tree to help grab on and lock onto it. So tree diameter size, 8 inches to 20 inches, it's going to climb any of those trees. One thing I have noticed is there are a lot of trees that it will not fit on just because the trees are too large. So these have been some pretty good meaty trees that I've wanted to climb that I haven't been able to climb. So that's just, I wish the cable that came with it could get a little bit longer for some of those meatier trees, especially down at the base and things like that. So platform size, the bottom platform is 20 inches by 36 inches, and the top platform that the seat on is 22.5 by 37.5, I believe. Yep, the bottom platform is going to be 22.5 inches by 37.5 inches. So it's a pretty good platform. It does come with the cables. The seat is supposed to have a back on it. I did not like that. I cut it off. Like, it was getting in the way of climbing. It was making too much noise. I didn't think it did that much. I have no problem just leaning against a tree. So I kind of have modified mine through the years, and I want to show you guys some of those modifications I've done. So compared to some of the other climbers I've had, it has a strap to help keep the top and bottom platform together. And then this thing comes apart super easy. I mean, look at that. That was all I had to do to get it apart. So bottom platform, the stand does come for right here to have a footrest mounted. I just saw it as extra weight, just something I really didn't care to have. So I still have it. I just never mounted it, never needed to. It has your foot straps right here, and then your cord that helps keep your feet from slipping. Very important, it's got this small bungee. You don't want to end up like one of the guys in a TikTok video or Instagram video where you're up 25, 30 feet with the top platform and your base is down at the bottom. Make sure you have this on. This is great. This hooks the two platforms together, so in case one does kick out on you, I mean mainly the bottom obviously because you're going to be climbing with the top, but if it does kick out, you're going to be good to go. So looking at the top platform, again, the seat, I did not see it necessary to have the back, so that is done just fine for me. Pretty comfortable seat, just hangs there with the straps. You actually got to kind of worry that you lost a strap there, but you got to worry you don't fall asleep in the tree. It's actually pretty comfortable. One little modification I've done, it's small, but I added this little saw. Very nice to have, especially with these climbers. A huge downfall with a climbing stand is going to be your tree selection. So you are limited to what you can climb versus a ladder stand, a saddle. I like climbers. That is the biggest downfall I've seen, is you got to have like a perfect tree. There's a lot of trees with smaller hanging limbs and stuff like that, so it is nice to have that saw. I'm not taking off huge branches, but I can cut down some smaller stuff. So I will show you on this tree right here. You can see I've never climbed this tree. I'm going to demonstrate without ever climbing this tree, and it's got some little stuff in the way that we're just going to cut off as we go up. So let's get this bad boy on the tree. I'll show you how I set it up. Not saying I'm perfect at this, but I have yet, knock on wood, to have an incident. And I've been using climbing stands for a while. I think if you're safe, they can be a very safe way to hunt, even when you're by yourself. So let's get this bad boy in the tree. All right guys, so first things first, safety. Went through the harness on. Want to make sure the leg straps are snug, not too tight. This one I actually got to get rid of, but for today's video we're going to use it. I got a carabiner, my little clip broke here. So when I first started using climbing tree stands, I was an idiot. I used to climb these things with no safety stuff, no harness. I just get up there, strap it off and go. I've changed over the years. I've had a couple close calls in questionable weather, especially rain, and you know, a couple sketchy trees and stuff like that. So I want to come home to my family, so I even use a tree strap going all the way up. So first thing, one nice thing is these cables can be replaced, but the first step is we are going to fasten our bottom plate to the tree here. So whatever you're using, I would highly recommend, whether it's a saddle, climber, always setting it up and trying this several times before the season starts, so your first time is not in the dark. When I strap these to a tree, I like it to be too tight at the base, so almost hard to climb at the base. The reason being is 99% of the trees get smaller the higher you go. So right here, it's almost level. I'm gonna go one more. That's just how I like it. So we're gonna go one more strap, especially for our bottom there. So that's pretty good. We got a little bit of an angle. That's okay, because the higher we get, that's gonna that'll change. So I'm gonna move that one down. Then I'm gonna take my top flat, the actual seat here, same thing. It's nice if you're using something like Onyx, you can actually like put in notes on certain tree locations what you had them set at. That way when you go back on public land, you don't have to sit there and mess around at like, oh, is it tight enough or is it too loose? You just know based on your old numbers, every single tree you've climbed, even if it's been like a year since you've climbed that tree, what it's supposed to be at. So we gotta go one more here. That should be good. All right guys, so we are ready to climb. And this could be a little too tight, but what I've learned is I would rather come back down and adjust it rather than get 20 feet up in this tree or 15 feet and feel uncomfortable up there, like my platform's gonna kick out. So I'm gonna put it up where I can get on it. And I'm gonna have to slide in between these two. Then the next step, tree strap. So extremely important here. Also, you're gonna wanna remember where you keep this stuff. You don't want to be fiddling through your pack in the middle of the night. So, like, I always keep my tree straps in my right pocket. I'm gonna keep it loose. That way, it's gonna catch me if something bad happens, but it's not gonna be too hard to maneuver up and down the tree here. There, that'll catch if I do have a slip. And we're ready to climb. So from there, you can get the feet in the little stirrups here. I don't know if that's the right word. And then I'm going to pull up, kind of do like a dip, if you will, and pull back up. Before I do that each time, I'm putting weight on it. As you can see here, when I put weight, this is none of this. It's just nothing. So the higher I get up this tree now, the more my platform starts to level out, if you will. Definitely takes longer to climb with this strap, but again, I feel like I'm on repeat, but seeing too many people get seriously hurt. I haven't seen them, but I know of guys who have gotten pretty seriously hurt. And then I broke that one off, so we just got to work our way around it. So for this video, we're gonna stop there. So we're fairly high up right now, probably about 17 feet, coming up on 20. And I could cut down more of this, but we are up here. All right, so here we are. I think I meant to bring a tape with me, or my little string that I use, but we're probably right about 17 feet up now. So not a bad distance. I like to go around 25, but I'm never gonna hunt here in a front yard, so I'm not gonna cut too many branches off. But as you can see, nice thing about this stand, you have a great, 180 or more shooting radius. So as you can see, I can shoot almost, actually way more than 180. It's almost 360. I can shoot behind me there on either side. So now what I would do is just get my seat ready, tighten up my strap there a little bit to make sure I'm good, and then I can go ahead and sit down. The seat will move on you a little bit. It doesn't stay in place because it's on the straps, but other than that, it's a comfortable stand. I mean, you could fall asleep in this thing. I mean, I do fall asleep in it all the time, pretty easily. Time to go ahead and head down now. Going down basically the same as going up, just backwards. So I'm gonna walk you guys through that with the GoPro on how I like to go down. All right, so we're heading down. I'm just gonna kind of flip my seat up, get back in my stirrups here, and then I will go ahead and kind of loosen this up and start working my tree strap down. So I'm going to sit down on the edge right here, kind of like when I was going up, and then my seat's in the way, but I'm going to lift up on the platform and point my feet down. And then when I want to stop it, I'll kind of pull my heels up, if you will. Just got to get around that branch, and then I'll drop this, sit back down, lift up on the bottom, point my feet down, my toes down till it catches. Okay, so my final thoughts on the Summer Viper SD tree stand. Price tag on this bad boy is gonna be right around $330 to $360, probably closer to $360 depending on where you're looking. Climbers in general, stands get expensive, especially ladder stands. I do love my ladder stands, but they do cost a lot of money. They can get stolen. Private, public land, at least in Ohio, you cannot leave stands out, really. At least you're not supposed to. If you do, they're probably getting taken. So this can be a great option. I definitely use this the most on public land. I do recommend scouting before you use it. The last thing, I've done it. It's not fun, but trying to find a tree in the dark that's safe to climb, it's just unsafe doing that. You're kind of experimenting in the pitch dark with just a headlamp. So I would recommend scouting ahead of time, figuring out what notches you need to be on, even climbing the tree. You can tell that one got a little torn up. I've climbed the same tree a lot. You'll knock some bark off, but as far as like hurting a tree or killing it, in my experiences, I've never injured a tree other than just taking a little bit of bark off. Be careful, you don't need to be slamming it in there. You want to be gentle with the tree, but this can be a great option. As far as a climber versus saddle, I have not particularly hunted out of saddle. That's going to be something I'm going to be looking to do this year. But the biggest downfall with a climber is you are so limited to certain trees. Branches are just a killer with the climber. So a lot of the other options can kind of get you around, you know, smaller branches and stuff like that. With a climber, you need basically a perfect tree going up. So other than that, it's a great option. Like I said, I use it a bunch on public land. Even on private, it's not bad if you don't want to spend a bunch of money on stands. I've actually rocked this on private for the first couple years I've had it. It's nice. You don't have to have stands all over the property. You can just take this, practice. That's the most important thing. I haven't used this in a couple years, so it's a little rusty on it today, but you want to give yourself a little extra time getting it in, because it's not like a ladder stand where you're just going to climb right up it and sit down. You got to set up. You want to be quiet setting up. So practice setting it up, even in the dark, even before the season start. Come out, you know, get the headlamp on and get used to setting it up and climbing it as quiet as possible. A couple other things in your jacket or your harness, or even on the stand before. I've had my little bow rope, little things like that will go a long way. But I basically had a small bag, little pouch mounted, and I would keep my string with a carabiner that I connect my bow to. So little things like that, little tricks from practice, you'll learn how to make this quieter and a lot easier to get up and down a tree. Windy days, this is bad, but most tree stands are going to be bad in windy days, but you can really feel it because you have no ladder or anything. You were literally just strapped to the tree. So that is my final thoughts on the Summer Viper SD and kind of climbers in general. A great tool to add to the arsenal, like a lot of the products that I talked about on here. I like to have as many options as I can. This is just another great tool. We will be checking out saddles this year. They are expensive, but I'm gonna jump on the hype train. I'm gonna see what they're all about. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. Comment down below your guys' experience with climbers. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.